Welcome back, viewers. Today I'd like to discuss something that is a common controversy in Dungeons & Dragons, critting on skill checks. Officially, the rules state that you can't crit on an ability or skill check. But a lot of people like to point out situations in which they feel that one could crit on a skill or ability check. For instance, if an NPC makes a deception attempt and they set a DC that is higher than the numerical capability of any of the player characters' insight checks, this would mean that they are 100% incapable of discerning whether or not this person is telling them the truth. However, it could be argued that if a person crits on their insight check, they don't know that they're lying, but they kind of have a feeling that they can't trust this person. And that would be the essential indication of a critical in that situation. My personal opinion on this subject is related to something that I think is the most important thing about Dungeons & Dragons, and that's its customizability. I think whether or not you can crit on a skill check should be situational. Would I allow one to crit on that insight check? Yeah. Would I allow someone to crit on an Arcana check? No. Because if I have an Arcana check that has a DC of 30, and you roll a 20 and have a +9, you just flat don't know enough to answer that question. It's essentially the difference between an acrobatics check to dodge an explosion, where the force from the explosion is just enough to push you out of the way, but not enough to hurt you. Or an investigation check to learn something in a library that just doesn't have the book you need. A crit on any kind of roll should be situational. And I think that that should always be up to the DM's discretion and used as such.